Welcome to episode 12 of On Your Marks. I'm joined by Christopher Whiteley, a 16-year-old distance runner from Dural on the outskirts of Sydney in Australia. He has raced 800 metres to 3,000 metres on the track, 5k on the road, plus cross-country over the past few years. He is a looming potential medal contender at this year's Australian Cross Country Championships, which will be held later this month, that's August, in Ballarat in Victoria. He has PBs on the track of 2:01 over 800 metres, 4:08 over 1,500 metres, 9:37 over 3,000 metres and a 5k road PB of 15:43. He has had some remarkable race results in 2026, mainly over cross country and on the road as well so far this winter season. A few of the highlights include a first in the New South Wales CIS Cross Country Championships, a third in the New South Wales 5k Road Championships, a second in the New South Wales All Schools Cross Country Championships, and a first in the New South Wales Short Course Cross Country Championships. I'm also joined by Christopher's dad, Robin Whiteley. Robin is a former top Aussie distance runner who represented the green and gold at the World Mountain Running Championships. He had a great career on the track, road, cross country and of course in mountain races, and is still a strong masters runner. So welcome Christopher and welcome Robin.
Hello, thanks Sean, good to see you.
Good to see you too, and I'm really glad you could come on the show today. Now I might start with Robin, and we might have to go back a little bit in time. Robin's not that old, but we might have to go back a little bit in time. We'll find out a little bit more about Robin, or the great Robin Whiteley. Now, Robin, where did your running journey begin, and how old were you when that running journey began?
Yeah, I was fortunate to be brought up in the northwest of England, Sean. Lovely green rolling hills, great places to run, and I remember it was the summer holidays of 1988. I decided to go for a run every day, and as most of us normally find, some sort of addiction is evoked out of that, and then I became addicted from there.
So in that summer of 1988, how old were you, Robin?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Had you been paying any attention to the sport at all as an outsider who hadn't been competing before that point or leading up to that point in 1988? Did you have idols or anything like that from England or elsewhere?
Yeah, I think one of the blessings of being brought up in the UK, Sean, is that athletics is a big part of the sporting culture. So I'd been exposed obviously to the 84-88 Olympics, people like Peter Elliott, Steve Cram. I came just at the back end of the co-ed vet years, but certainly something that was very front of mind and very much in the mainstream media as well. So I'd always enjoyed watching it. And then as I got into the sport, it's one of those sports that rewards hard work. You just get sucked in, don't you? And it takes on a life of its own. You
sure do. You still have a bit of that lovely Northern England accent. Now, you mentioned co-ed vet being a bit before your time, and then you mentioned Peter Elliott, and you mentioned Steve Cram. Cram and Elliott, are they from the north of England?
Well, Cram's from the northeast, yeah, from Jarrow, and Peter Elliott was a Rotherham boy, so Yorkshire. Yeah, so they're very much from the north.
Very good. And so they're a little bit older than you, and then I can name a few from the north, like Brendan Foster, for example, Dave Bedford, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, another one of my big heroes, funnily enough, Sean, was Curtis Robb. I don't know if you remember Curtis Robb.
I do remember Curtis Robb. Yep.
And he spent a bit of time in Sydney about a decade ago, so I was fortunate enough to meet him as he was my hero and do a bit of training with him when he was here. So that was a massive highlight for me in the back end of my career.
Wonderful. Was Curtis in good shape 10 years ago when he came out?
Well, it's funny you say that because probably the best race was at the New South Wales Road Relays, and at the time they were up at the campus there at Arimba, and I remember he ran, I think, 12:10 for the 4K there, and he was over 40 because we celebrated his 40th while he was here. So, wow. Yeah, he could still run.
Incredible. Now, who was coaching you in your younger years from that age of 14? Did you train solo for a while, or did you join a club fairly early on in the proceedings?
Yeah, I joined the local athletics club when I was 15, but that was just going down the track a couple of times a week. I guess the first formal coach for me was a guy called Mark Benson. He was a 1:46 800 metre runner, Leeds City boy, and he was a bit ahead of his time, Sean. He was a bit of an exercise scientist, and he sort of had that nice blend of the art and the science, and he coached me all the way through high school, or the upper end of high school, through my university years as well.
Wonderful. So you joined the local club at 15 and you did track work a couple of times a week. How long did that last before you joined your coach?
A couple of years, and again, funny, as you look back in retrospect, it was a cinders track, Sean, the local athletics track. It's a lot better now than it was back then, but I bumped into Mark, or got to know Mark through a mutual acquaintance, and he worked for the council in West Yorkshire there and used to run the athletics track there, which was the only tartan track probably within 30 or 40 mile radius. So 17, 18 is when I started to jump in with Mark.
Sure. And did Mark have a decent squad at that point in time?
He had, his wife Anne was a very good 800 metre runner. The main people I trained with was a lad called Paul Fotherby, who was a mid 150s 800 metre runner in high school, and a couple of good girls. It was a small squad, but all sort of aligned on that purpose and, you know, doing the hard work and the hard yards together.
Brilliant. And how were you performing in the senior years of high school?
Yeah, I had an interesting time, Sean. Probably a familiar story. I ran very well as a 15, 16-year-old. I was very competitive, won a couple of Yorkshire titles as a schoolboy. Then I had a catalogue of injuries which sort of followed me into university. I'd get fit, I'd get injured, stress reactions, stress fractures, just finding the limits of what my body could absorb and build from. So I went through a bit of a frustrating period over that time.
Sure. Did the frustrating period, which had been mainly due to injuries, was that due to anything in particular that you can point a finger to?
Yeah, just classic increased load without really adjusting to it. So I remember when I went to university, I almost became a full-time athlete and was, as you did, I know, experimented, well over 100-mile weeks. And I'd find myself getting very fit, but then getting injured for 6 to 8 months. So it was a bit of a pattern which I'm very, very conscious of mitigating with the junior athletes that I'm fortunate enough to work with now.
Wonderful. And when you were doing those 100-mile weeks as a, let's say, 19, 20, 21-year-old during your uni years, did you shine when you were able to get a good block together? And if you did, what kind of performances were you able to rack up then on the track and on the road and over cross country?
Yeah, it's a good question, Sean, because I never managed to put a winter-summer together, so I never really got on the track because I'd always get injured at the back end of winter. But I went to a very good running university, Birmingham University. It was at the time we were sort of vying for top spot with Loughborough, which is obviously probably the one that most people have heard of. But we ran in the Birmingham League, which was the best cross-country league in Britain. It was you had Tipton Harriers, Birchfield, and when I was running well as a young student, I'd be finishing in that sort of top 20 in Birmingham League races. But yeah, as I said, unfortunately, I never really got to post anything of any note on the track because I'd always break down and never got that summer, winter continuity that you need. So
fair enough.
Made every mistake, Sean, that you could possibly make.
Yeah, so many runners do, don't they, Robin? And that's often why only a few reach that cream of the crop in the end. Right to the top there. So when did you move to Australia, Robin? How old were you? What year?
Yeah, 1997 August, Sean. So yeah, 23 when I came across.
Yeah, fair enough. What made you move? What prompted the move?
Well, I was always fortunate, Sean, that my running opened up other doors for me. So I worked in the English Premier League as a strength and conditioning coach through the back end of my uni career. So I worked at Wolves, I worked at Blackburn, I worked at Leeds United in those early days of strength and conditioning. But I always admired Australia as a country of high performance, and being brought up sort of with that, I guess, distant admiration of the Australian Institute of Sport, and watching Monners in the London Marathon. I think it was 89 or 90 when he had that famous race against Wakahuri and Ahmed Salah on the London Marathon in his Ballarat singlet. Drew me to want to come to Australia and see why it was a country that performed so far above a country of its size should perform in elite sport. So I came across with the intention to study at the University of Wollongong, and managed to fall into a job in the Hills District of Sydney running a fitness centre down there at Borkham Hills, and never went down to study because it was a centre of high excellence. People like Jana Pittman was training there. We had a great swim squad down there. The Parramatta Eels trained down there. And so it exposed me to the high performance part of sport in Australia. And obviously I've never left after that early exposure.
There you go. How much work did you do with Jana? I know she did live in Borkham Hills, Castle Hill. She lived on my sister's street at one point.
Well, it's funny, every time I'm down Roxburgh Park with the boys, I think of the greats that have run down there, and I know plenty plenty from your era, you know, Jamie and Yana, they always used to train down there a lot.
Yeah.
I admired Yana from afar. I was always in the gym when she was in there, but as you know,
Yeah.
she was a very good junior. She was involved with the New South Wales Institute of Sport. She had her programme, she did what she did, but I was always in the gym when she was training, and again, she certainly exemplified what it takes to be a world champion.
Well, there you go. I think the coach for the majority of her career had been Jackie Burns, and Jackie had been coached by my initial coach, June Ferguson.
Ah.
There you go. So, but Jackie became a very good coach, mainly with what she did with Yana, but also with Mel Gainsford Taylor, or Mel Gainsford for the majority of her career too. There you go. So now, obviously, you moved into the Hills District in the northwest of Sydney. Who was your main training group initially in the early years there, and who were your training partners, your coach and your partners?
Yeah, you probably know all of them, Sean. I fell into that Western Suburbs area, and so Peter Waters was directing the squad we were running in, and in that squad it was Darren Barlow, who sadly passed away last year, Jamie Harrison, Colin Johnson, Richard Roberts, and Chad Fowler a little bit more. A couple of years after I started, I did a lot of running with Chad Fowler, and I don't know if you remember Andy Colvin, who was a very good runner as well. Mm-hmm. But those early years was mostly with Pete Waters.
Wonderful. And now that group evolved, didn't it, over time? And who was the new coach that ended up coming through eventually with the group out in the northwest?
Well, I sort of jumped around a bit. I mean, Jamie actually got the best out of me as a coach, and you know, as you would know, Jamie was a 28-minute 10k guy, a 13:27 5k, and he flogged himself as an athlete, but he was a very thoughtful coach. He didn't necessarily coach how he trained, and Jamie got a lot of good running out of me when I ran my best city to surf, my best Sutherland to surf, my best 10k on the track was all under Jamie's tutelage.
Wonderful. So how would you compare the training under Peter with the training under Jamie?
Similarities, you know, I come from that school of three decent sessions a week, and then just try and put as much easy mileage in and around that. And Jamie and Pete were of a similar thinking to that. I think Pete was at the back end of his coaching career, and he'd become a little bit cautious. So I think Jamie tended to push the boundaries a little bit more. Jamie did a lot of stuff around the art of running. We'd do a lot of hopping and plyometrics on a hill, and got me moving a lot better than perhaps I'd done before. But that sort of basic 3 sessions a week and mileage around that, they were pretty similar in that regard.
Fair enough. You say that Jamie gave you the plyometrics. I remember Jamie, particularly as a younger runner, when he was absolutely dominating New South Wales running, and he won 4 Australian 10,000 metre championships. So he was one of the great Aussie runners as well. And then the medicine took over, and you know, he couldn't quite commit to the running like he had up to the age of 25 or thereabouts. But he was an unbelievable runner. But probably even more memorable in my mind was the fact what a beautiful mover he was. He was very toey, flowed along beautifully, had a good technique. Did he mention that he did a lot of plyos when he was a younger lad, when he was at his prime?
I know he did a lot of barefoot running, and he was the king of the story where he'd be waiting for the train and be running 10 miles round a grass track barefooted, in 49 or 50 minutes. But I think his dad was a greyhound racer, and I think his dad took a few concepts with the greyhounds and applied it to Jamie, and his sister Lisa as well, who was a very, very good runner as well.
She was a very good runner, absolutely, and they ran right from little athletics all the way through right until masters, really. Long running careers there. Well, you had a good time there with Jamie, I know, because you always spoke very highly of him, and every now and then I'd run with you lads on a run, which was very nice. Now, when did you come, or how did you get into the world of mountain running? What led you into that path?
Well, it was always a funny quote from Chris Truscott. That's something that Andrew Lloyd said to him many years ago. He said something like, "Truscott, you'll never be good enough to represent Australia unless you do ultras or run on the mountains." And I think that probably applies to me, Sean, that I ran well on the roads at times. I had some good periods, ran a good city to surf, good Sutherland to surf, but obviously never ever close to knocking on the door of an Australian team. And the mountains were there. Richie, who I trained with, Richie Roberts, had done some good racing on the mountains. And obviously your wife, Cindy, who I worked with, made an Australian team and sort of opened my eyes to the possibilities there. So I think it was 2011, 2012, I jumped on the mountains with the intent to try and get that elusive singlet, which we all aspire to. And I was fortunate enough to make 3 teams between 2012 and 2017.
Brilliant. And what was your best result out of those 3 World Mountain Running Championships?
Well, it's funny, Sean, because I said to the boys, I said, you know, there's always another level to performance. You know, you think you're good in your local area, then you get to state, and then you find that your state's hard, then you go from state to national. And certainly that jump from sort of being a national level mountain runner in Australia, the leap into the world stage was night and day, Sean. I think at best I was in the 80s, but I mean, they were packing up the tents and going home by the time I was finishing. You know, you jump from an Australian winter into a European summer, into altitude with 2 or 3 days. It was never a recipe for high performance, but you know, I probably finished where I probably deserved to finish, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go. And the Europeans have always taken extremely serious the mountain running, and now they call it the trail running as well. It's like an add-on to it, I guess, particularly with like the UTMB and the longer races. But the short races, as you know, they're big time now. They've added prize money. The Kenyans have even got involved, and other Africans. And I remember watching Kernahan last year and a few of the other Aussie lads, and they had really good coverage, which they didn't used to have maybe back at even as soon as like 2010, or you know, when Cindy competed 2005 and thereabouts. It was hard to actually get footage, but now with the drones and people who are mountain goats like running with them with cameras and all that sort of thing, it had really good coverage last year, and I enjoyed watching that, and I'll be looking forward to watching the 2027 version. They're on every 2 years, so
yeah,
they're on again next year. So
we've had, I mean, when you think, and again, I say to the boys here, you know, there's been some great Australian runners who've cut the teeth on the mountains. You think Ryan Gregson ran the mountains, Tim Vincent ran the mountains, yeah. Bryce Anderson ran the mountains. You know, yeah. There's some. It's a good place to start, isn't it? I think.
Absolutely, yeah, big time. So you mentioned the coaching. Now, how long have you been coaching, Robin?
Look, I mean, I've been on the sidelines coaching in and out with, you know, I took on a big corporate career, but I've always done a bit of strength and conditioning work on the side. But really, from a running perspective, it's only been the last 2 or 3 years as Christopher's sort of found his legs and found a desire and love for it. And as you know, Sean, when you get someone performing or performing a bit better, it tends to be attractive with other people. But I say that and I forget that I've been coaching Leo Peterson for 6 or 7 years. So Leo's been a very good performer on the trails and mountains in Australia. He's probably been the athlete that I've had most success with thus far. That's
wonderful. So you've had Leo, and then obviously Christopher came onto the scene. How many are currently in your squad? Or how many are you currently coaching?
Yeah, there's 8 to 10 probably altogether, Sean. We've got Leo as the elder statesman, and then anywhere from sort of 15 to 19, and they're a great bunch of kids. Bunch of kids.
I might ask Christopher a bit more about his training partners and his training environment. So thank you there, Robin, and you might interject. Feel free to interject if you wish when I'm interviewing Christopher. But Christopher, where did your running journey begin, and how old were you?
Well, I've kind of always been a bit around the sport. I mean, my parents have always been running, and I've kind of always gone out to these events with them. I mean, my first race was actually with your daughter back when I was like 4 years old, and it was a 1K fun run, and I came last.
I do remember that fun run around Coogee.
Yes.
A little oval. I can't remember the name of the oval, but in that gorgeous location there, overlooking on the cliff top, overlooking the Coogee Bay, not far from the kids' playground there.
Yes.
I do remember. What was it, about a 300-metre loop, and you were going round and round, maybe 3 or 4 laps?
But I just remember I was definitely quite off the front. I wasn't really up there.
No, fair enough. So you're very young. So you've been around because obviously your mum is a great marathon runner too, and Dad's a fantastic runner. So it's in the blood, and you've been around the sport a long time. Who was coaching you in your young years? Did you have a coach before Dad at all, from school or anywhere?
Well, he's kind of been my coach for my whole running journey. I mean, I have been with some other groups like Shannon Lum's On Track down at Roxburgh Park, but for the most part, I have been with my dad ever since 2022, 2023, and it hasn't really changed.
Okay, good. When you were with Shannon down at On Track, did you go there like once or twice a week, and was that more of a social thing in helping you get engaged in the sport without any real coaching?
Well, it was back in 2024, 2025, and I think it was just Mondays and Wednesdays I went down, and it was good because I met some new people, made some new friends.
Yep.
Quite a few of them actually are in my training group now. Thomas Bilby and Bo Adams, they've come to our group. But it was just a good time to because they would push me, and it was a good training group, and yeah.
Brilliant. Now, you attend North Home Grammar School. Do you compete often for the school?
Yes, I try to compete with everything they offer: cross country, athletics, swimming, and other co-curricular activities.
Good. And on the running side of things, do they provide a school squad before, after school, or even during school hours? And do they provide coaching at all?
Not really, but they have been very supportive of my running. I mean, they're always putting stuff on social media. There is one of the teachers that have a run club every Thursday at lunchtime, but I don't really do that because I have a session in the afternoons. But they're a very good school. I mean, they're always supporting me, and yeah.
That's good. So, how often do you compete? You mentioned you compete quite regularly for the school. How often would you compete annually?
Probably for the school annually, 10, 12 times through the cross-country and athletic season.
Yeah. So you line up in the colours, and I guess you have to compete for the school in the smaller meets, and then they gradually get bigger when you get from one round to the next.
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be for track and for cross-country?
Yeah.
Very good. Are you able, you're probably at a level this year now where you're able to train through like the local grammar meets, were you? And then when you got into the bigger meets, you'd have to back off more?
Yeah, pretty much, Sean. I mean, Chris is fortunate again that we've got the Cherrybrook Athletics Club down the road as well. So if he's not competing for the school, he's competing for the club, and
sure.
The club's is going through a particular sort of purple patch of young athletes. Alex Eason, Zach Green, who are both international triathletes. Brendan, who Chris will speak about. Just a really good group of kids down there as well as a club.
Brilliant. So you've got the school to compete for and Cherrybrook as well. That's wonderful. Remind me, what colour are the Cherrybrook bibs?
Red.
Red with...
Bit of white, red and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a red vest and white shorts, is it?
Well, I think it's like a mix, like red. It's a red singlet with a bit of white stripes.
Okay. Oh, a little bit like St George.
It's a little bit, it kills me, Sean. I wanted him in the Asics West, in the Western Suburbs singlet, but not to be.
You couldn't quite pull that one, Robin. Never mind. How are they going, Asics West? Are they still ticking along nicely?
Well, I'll tell you, Sean, I ran the road relays yesterday. It was me, John Murray, Michael Doggett and Raj De Silva, and there's not much youth coming through at Western Suburbs. It's not even Asics West anymore, it's just Western Suburbs. We've lost the Asics, so...
Okay. Do they have any groups down at Wyatt Park at all?
Not that I'm aware of. It's not great. Not great representation.
So back to Christopher, how many kilometres are you running per week now?
Probably around 50 to 60 Ks a week, depending on what I'm doing and if I have a race on. And
are you absorbing that, handling it okay?
Yes, very good. I mean, this week I've done about 65, so definitely on the upper end of what I'm doing. Last week, though, I did do about mid-40, 42, 43, but that was due to my all schools, and I had a drama production on, so I kind of just tapered it down a bit.
Okay. And out of that 65 or so Ks a week, how would you break up a training week? Like, where do you train and how many sessions a week are you doing when it comes to speed?
Well, Mondays are rest day. Tuesdays would be a track session. Wednesdays are treadmill, so about 50 minutes easy, a bit of bike in that. Thursdays is a bit of road, maybe a bit of grass. Fridays is rest. Saturdays is a hill session or cross-country training, and Sunday is a long run.
Okay, so when you do your Tuesday track, is that on grass or tartan?
Grass.
Is that the Cherrybrook track?
Not really. Sometimes Roxburgh Park.
Oh, Roxburgh, yep.
A bit, just in the area, very local. Nothing too far.
Oh, I like Roxburgh Park. That's a great grass track there.
Yeah.
What is your favourite track to train on when you talk about track work, and only for training, not for racing, just for training on?
Roxburgh. I mean, it's very nice down there, especially in the cool evenings. I mean, the sun. It's beautiful sunsets down there, and then you kind of get the mist off the waves, and you get that chlorine smell, and it's a good.
Oh, you're right by the pool, aren't you? Yeah. You're right, adjacent to the pool. And Wednesday, you do treadmill. You mentioned.
Yes.
What kind of treadmill do you run on?
It's Nordic track.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Just
that at home? You jump on at home and yeah.
Easy, just easy, nothing hard, or
Sure.
just
Yeah.
put the AirPods in and listen to some music.
And that's about a 50-minute or 10K run or thereabouts.
Exactly. And
Very
then,
good. And Thursday, you mentioned road with maybe a bit of grass. Do you combine the two, or do you do 1 week road, 1 week grass? Or how does that work?
depending on the week, but mostly road. I mean, this week was grass on track, but it kind of varies, but mostly on road.
And is that longer work, like threshold work, or how does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly threshold work, Sean. So, either descending sets or 5 or 6 by a K off a short jog. But generally, given the winter time and the time it takes, we've got a couple of the lads coming from uni. They've got to start at 4:30 and then they run out of light. So they generally do it on the road. Yeah,
fair enough. You have a good road circuit there, which is quite traffic free.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. And Saturday you do hills, you mentioned, or there's plenty of racing going on at the moment too on a Saturday, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I normally just go out to. There's a park called Fagan Park out in Western Sydney. It's a bit on the outskirts.
I remember running a New South Wales cross country, open men's cross country. Did you do that one, Robin?
No, I think it was 96 was the last time they held it there, Sean.
Really? I couldn't even tell you the year, Robin. My memory's not that good. But I remember having a big battle with Kim Gillard, who I had coffee with 2 days ago.
Oh, terrific.
And he got me. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, but it's very nice out there. Good hills, very runnable.
Yeah.
But especially in the mornings, very nice sunrises.
Yeah, I bet they would be. Yep. So that's Galston or Dural, Fagan Park?
Galston. It's Fagan Park.
Beautiful part of the world. Do they still have cows there while you're running around?
There's a paddock nearby which has some horses and cows.
Yeah.
But it's a very nice place of Sydney, very nice.
Oh, big time. And where are you doing your long run? Do you have a regular long run place?
Well, it tends to be from my home. I mean, that's kind of the central point with everyone who is in our running group. We can go to different places like Skyville National Park, or Lane Cove National Park, but it does tend to be from home.
Okay, and where would the route take you typically?
Down to Kenthurst, up to Middle Dural. It kind of just varies quite often. I mean, it's rolling hills and you kind of get the same workout from it.
Very good. So how long are you doing for your long run at the moment on average typically there?
Well, at the moment I'm doing about 90 minutes, but that kind of varies with who I'm training with. So that probably equivalates to about 16 to 18 kilometers.
Yep. With much elevation?
Yes, about 100, 200 meters of elevation.
200 to 300 normally, yeah.
Yeah. So it would probably be similar to what we ran on after National Cross Country last year at Creswell National Park there just out of Ballarat, something like that.
Yeah.
Quite hilly, but nothing too mountainous.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that'd make you strong anyway. Yeah, that's good. So what would be your favourite session or even run? Like, do you prefer recovery stuff? Do you prefer threshold, hills, track work? Can you pinpoint your favourite run or session?
It would be out at Fagan Park, as I was just saying. There's a hill which it's very runnable, but good elevation, and that's probably my favourite session, just going up that hill.
Okay, good.
It's probably the hill you remember from the last time you raced out there, Sean, where the cows used to be. There's a grass trail that follows that back field at where the cows used to be. That's where they do a lot of work.
You kind of, it's to your left and you're running up the hill after you've gone down the bottom through the woods, I think.
Correct.
Gee, things don't change, do they?
No, they don't.
The trees are probably 50 foot higher now, and the grass might be longer if they haven't mown it, but other than that, there you go. And the cows might be about 10 generations,
Exactly
depending
right.
what they're using them for. But anyway, there you go. So now, Christopher, are you aiming to get a scholarship to the US at all and compete in the NCAA?
Yes, 100%. That's my goal.
Good for you. Yeah, good for you. I remember your dad mentioning that a little while ago. So that's really good. So you're in year 10, is that right?
Yes.
So now's about the time to start thinking a little bit more seriously about it, I guess. So have you put feelers out yet? Are you using a a business or anything like that, or are you leaving that to mum and dad, or are you having a bit of a sticky peak yourself, or how are you going about researching coaches and schools at the moment?
Well, I'm not kind of looking at the coaches, but I am looking at the schools and what they offer, because I want to do engineering, and then I also want to go to a Division 1 school.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want it to be too south, because it's of course quite hot down there, but maybe a bit more north would be very nice. But I've done a bit of research, maybe Penn State, just around that area. I haven't done too much. That'll be for next year, because year 11 is when you want to start properly looking into it, and maybe even emailing some of the coaches, some of the teams.
I did interview Hayley Kitching, and she attends Penn State, and it sounds like a wonderful school. And Ryan Foster had been the coach there, right up until he still was the coach there when I interviewed her. Then I noticed a week or two, maybe 3 weeks after the interview, that he'd signed up with another school, might be Auburn or another school there. But it definitely sounds like a beautiful place to study and train. So there'll be plenty of options. I think there's about 300 odd NCAA Division 1 schools out there which you could pick from. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's just for end of this year, next year, I'll start properly looking into it, and who knows, maybe head over there sometime.
Wonderful. Now, Christopher, you've progressed really nicely over the last few years, and the last 12 months in particular have been a breakthrough period for you. There's no doubt you were progressing really well before then, progressing incrementally, you might say, just, a little bit each year, and you're going very strongly. But the last 12 months, I've been blown away by how much you've improved, particularly during the winter season. Now, what do you feel have been your best 3 races during this period? And probably even more importantly, why do you think you're able to race so well?
Well, first off, I think where my mentality kind of just changed with how I was racing. There was down at Bankstown, it was an 800 metre race, and it wasn't my best race of the season, nowhere near, but that's kind of when my mentality kind of changed, and when I kind of started getting my form back after last year. But my top 3 races would probably be my CIS, so State Independent Schools win for cross country back in June, and then DAPDO, which is short course state, which I came first in New South Wales for my age group and the age group above, and second overall behind Kieran Shepherd. And then another top 3 would probably be my all schools, where I came second for cross country in my age group.
Wow, so there you go. I mean, straight away there's 3 very renowned New South Wales schools and or club races there, and you've mentioned quite a famous junior name there too, Kieran Shepherd. I didn't realise actually that Kieran Shepherd was the young man who beat you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, Kieran Shepherd will be running in about a week at World Juniors. Is that correct?
Yep.
In the 1,500 metres or the 3,000 or both?
I think it's the 15. That's the only one I'm aware of.
He had a big win at Nationals, didn't he, in the under-20s?
He did. I think he went to World Junior Cross, Sean, and
he did as well. Yeah.
And Christopher spoke briefly about his mentality. Christopher, he doesn't overanalyze things, Sean. He never knows who he's racing, but you never know how easy Kieran was taking it. But he made the race, and there was only Christopher and Philip Patanis, I think, who weren't, I guess, in fear or intimidated by the moves that he made, and it was the 3 of them that got away. And I think everyone else was a little bit more fearful, of him and his reputation. So I think when he talked about his mentality, Christopher doesn't overanalyze things. He just races the race, and whatever happens.
Yeah. So what was the course there, and what was the distance of that race?
It was very flat down at DAPDO.
On the DAPDO course, yeah.
4K.
So they have had 2 nationals there, haven't they, over the last 12 or 14 years?
Yeah.
So quite flat, just a few very gentle gradients, mainly grass and a bit of dirt, and what was that, the New South Wales Short Course Championships?
Yes.
So how far did you go on your short course in your age group?
So it's 4 kilometres for my age group, and so it's just 2 laps around a 2K course around the DAPDO course. Very runnable. I mean, very flat. The grass is quite compounded, so great. Yeah, very good.
It would have been different, no doubt, to quite a few of the other cross-country races you've experienced so far this season, that event there.
Yeah, I mean, Nara was a complete opposite with a lot of hills, very hilly.
Nowra's infamous.
Yeah,
Maybe the toughest cross-country course in Australia. Definitely the toughest course that's used regularly for big races. So,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
extremely hilly.
Dapto is very similar to what it is like down at Ballarat. I mean, they're both very
Yeah.
flat courses. The
Okay.
thing with Ballarat is, though they make the course very muddy, they have sections where it's just complete mud, which is good because it kind of just changes your stride just enough to
Sure.
slow you down a bit, maybe.
Yeah. Taking on a guy like Kieran Shepherd, though. Now, you're under 17, correct?
16. I think
Under
it's
16?
Yeah, I think his class is under 16 still.
I'm 16 this year.
That'd be under 17.
We'll take your word for it.
In
Sure.
nationals, he'd be under 17. Now, is Kieran under 17 or under 18?
Under 18s is the...
So you were in that double age. That was a double age group at the short course.
Yep.
So you effectively won your age group, and you were beaten by an older lad who's already run for Australia over cross country, but he's also about to run for Australia over 1,500 metres in arguably the best junior event in track and field, I think, for boys or girls. Like when you're talking running, jumping, and throwing, when you're talking a few of the young lads who are going around over 1,500 metres, and he beat them all. Now, it's a flat 4K. This is a guy who can compete really well internationally now over 8K, but he can also compete really well and hopefully really well internationally over 1,500. So 4K flat, you'd think he'd probably be his best event, possibly. And how far behind him were you in that event?
I was 4 or 5 seconds behind.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
What are you eating for breakfast there, Christopher?
I think I had just a smoothie, banana smoothie, and maybe an up and go. And
There you go.
a bit too much
Been watching
water.
Luke Boys.
Yeah. He
I
likes
think
an up and go.
I think Luke Boys might end up getting a good endorsement there.
Yeah, could be worse.
While the iron was hot there with up and go, and I think they're going up and going with it. I think the executive really liked that, and then he came away with a silver this morning there. So
I do have to give some credit to Philip Atonis, who I just beat at the Dapto race.
yeah,
I think I beat him by like 0.5 of a second. He was racing up in age group, so he's the age group below me.
yeah.
So like, and to be 5 seconds behind Kieran Shepherd, who's 2 years above you, I mean, that's
Yeah.
that takes some guts for Philip. And the reason I actually went with Philip is because, the reason I went with Kieran is because Philip went with him, and I was like, if he's going with him, I have to go with him.
Okay. Who rounded out the podium in the CIS Championships, and was that whereabouts in Sydney were they held? Or were they held in Sydney?
Down at Horsley Park, so the Sydney Equestrian Centre.
Okay. Yeah. Quite a hilly course there.
Yeah, I mean, rolling on the back on the course, it's very hilly, but then it kind of goes into a flat section. But
Sure.
it's about 94 meters of elevation over 6Ks.
Yeah, relatively hilly there. That would be similar to Gerald's Park, I think, where they have the cross-country relays every year in Victoria. Well, maybe slightly less hilly than that, but fairly hilly. Yeah, there you go. And who rounded out the podium in that event?
It was me, Eric Marie, and
Zane, wasn't it?
Zane Graham. Yeah, Zane Graham.
Very good, yeah. And then the other event you named in your top three, remind me again, what was that third event you mentioned
All
in the
schools.
top three?
All schools. So New
All
South
schools.
Wales.
And do they still have that at Eastern Creek?
No, it's the same place as CIS. So I have my zone, ACs, zone, regionals, CIS, and all schools all at the same place.
They finally ditched Eastern Creek.
Yeah.
I think National All Schools is there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and National All Schools is
Okay,
there.
very good. Yeah.
Which I made it for my age and the age group above because they're combined. So top 8 or top 10 from our combined age groups go to nationals.
Well, hopefully you'll have a bit of a hometown advantage there, having raced over it several times, and you'll have the inside information. And the Queenslanders and Victorians, Tasmanians, etc., might be a bit foreign to the course, apart from walking over it, maybe jogging over it briefly the day before. So good luck with that one. Now, remind me, is all schools before or after Athletics Australia and National Cross this year? On the calendar?
So club national, so I think Athletics Australia, that's
Yep.
in 14th of September. It's about a month later.
Okay.
School nationals. So athletics club nationals in Ballarat is on the 22nd of August.
Correct.
While school nationals is on the 14th of September.
Okay, yeah, very good. Well, they're fairly nicely spaced out for you there. So why in the last 12 months, or particularly 6 months, do you think you've made a huge racing breakthrough? You mentioned the mindset. You mentioned one race in particular where you clicked. Do you think at all you've picked up physically one way or the other?
Well,
Have there been any pointers in training? Any?
last year I was very much plagued by my back injury, which I hurt in Boston. I got a sickness which kind of just threw my back out. But going into I did physio and stuff, and I think that kind of improved it, and that kind of got that variable away. And then I did a consistent block of training leading into this season, and that kind of what changed and boosted me.
Oh, good, brilliant. So there you go. And do you feel any back pain anymore?
Not really. Nothing real. I do exercises most days, so I try to keep on top of it.
Brilliant. That's great. Yeah. Do you have any niggles at all? Anything that's a bit of a worry?
Not really, just tightness sometimes, but I just stretch that out and it goes away.
Yeah, that's good. That's wonderful. How many times a week are you doing strength work?
2-3 times a week. I mean, I try to do it on Wednesdays after my easy run, and then Sundays do some gym, so core and strength, and do some stretching.
Yeah, and do you do that at home or do you go to a gym?
Yeah, we have a small home gym downstairs, so we just do it down there.
Oh, nice and handy for you, and good for time management too, particularly as you're becoming more busy, no doubt, as you're heading towards your senior years in high school.
Yes.
Save all that time and more cost effective too. Wonderful. Okay. Now, we haven't mentioned your training partners. We know there's 8 or 9 of them. Who are they and what events do they specialise in?
So my original one, Brendan Armstrong, who I started training with back in 2022, 2023, he is an 800 metre runner. He has won state and is a national runner. I've been with him for about 4 years. His brother, Benson Armstrong, he's been running for about 2 years now. He's getting really good. Nathan Mapufu, he is improving a lot. I mean, I look forward to see what he will do in the next year, and I think he has a lot ahead of him. Thomas Bilby, he's just coming back from an injury. He broke his wrist, so he's kind of just on the mend right now, but he'll be back in a couple months. Oscar Turnbull, national 400 metre champion.
All right. Wow.
Yep.
So what can Oscar run for 400 metres now?
He is a 15-year-old. He ran 49 dead, and I think 153 for 800, Sean. But he splits his time, Oscar. He does a bit of work with Steve Perry as well. So Steve does a lot of speed work with Oscar, but Oscar joins us a couple of times a week for the strength work. Okay.
And does Steve still call the group Pezza Speed Dynamics?
I think it is. Yeah.
A bit of a mouthful. Pezza Speed Dynamics. And where does Steve operate from?
Oscar has to head out west to, I think, is it Wetherington? I think there's a track out there, and I think Steve commutes from the Central Coast, which is incredulous to me that he...
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
I thought, because he used to compete for Nepean.
Yeah.
And he lives on the Central Coast, but he's driving back to the Nepean area to coach. Wow, what a legend. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, is that where his squad are based?
It is, yeah, it is.
Maybe he feels that there's a need for, a sprint group there in that part of the world compared to the Central Coast, possibly. I don't know whether they have any good sprints coaches up there.
Yeah.
The great Paul Arthur's up there coaching the middle and long distance. And
he is.
You've got Oschlager's coach, I can't think of his name, coaching the jumps up there.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a need for, he might feel a need for it out there in the West. Yep.
Possibly.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So you think he could be a bit of a Steve-O vet, Robin? That young lad?
Oscar, he's again just going through a few niggles and injury problems. I think if he gets on top of that, I think anyone who can run 49 dead at 15, and he ran 22.8 last week for 200 at the Northern Sydney School. So He's
In the
certainly
middle
got
of winter.
in the middle of winter. He's got some dash about him.
Gee, no tailwind?
No tailwind.
Wow.
No, you don't want to get
Oh.
chased by Oscar, do you, Chris?
No.
Goodness me. How's he on the hills when you give them hill work, hill sprints?
Well, he was out there with us yesterday, so I mean, Chris had the bigger group. He'll probably mention Bo Adams as well. Bo's a very good runner in the age group below. He's just joined the group, and he's great to have. But Oscar joined the hills yesterday, and as I say, he's just finding his strength at the moment. His speed's come back, but he's just still finding his legs on the slightly longer stuff.
Very good. And how's your speed coming along there, Christopher? Like when these speed merchants like Bo rock up and let's say Dad gives 200s or 300s or 400s, something fairly quick, or even like, do you give them like 100-metre strides at the end of a session or be part of the warm-up? So they unleash a bit of speed. How are you finding your speed is there compared to the really more speed-related runners there, Christopher?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's really progressed in the last 5-6 months. I mean, I can really tell at the end of the races when I can just outkick my competitors. But we have been doing some speed-focused sessions. I mean, on Thursday we did 400s.
Yeah.
Where I averaged about 65s, 66s.
On the grass.
Yep, and then
How much recovery?
200-meter jog, and then.
Yeah.
Yep. So then.
And how many reps?
10, 12.
Yeah, right.
12.
Wow, you're getting down there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really progressed at the end of the session where I got down to like 61s.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good for you. Right. Is that from the gun, or is that with a big kick in the final 200, or how do you pull out how do you change it from a 65 to a 61? Where does that 4 seconds?
Well, I was kind of average from the first 8 to 7 or 8. I was kind of averaging around 67, 68.
Yeah.
And then on the 8th, I did like 65, 64, 63, 62, 61. And so I just brought it down. So I just tried staying comfortable and tried to put more strength through my stride.
Ah, you do like a bit like Kai Robinson did in that when he won the 10, he gradually turned the screws there in the final 3 laps or so.
I mean, I kind of think of that 800-meter run. I forgot his name. He did like the world record holder for the 800. He like.
Odisha.
Yeah, but like he had like his stride length was the length of the table tennis table.
Yeah. How long is that, do you know? I've played table tennis, but I've never measured the table before. It's pretty long, though, I think. Yeah.
I remember seeing like a YouTube short video on it. So.
Okay. There you are. Yeah, the great, the big David Rudisha. Then there's, not Amos. Who's Arop, the big Canadian. And then you've got the lad who won the Commonwealth Games from Jamaica. Do you remember his name there, Robin or Chris?
I don't remember his name, but Chris picked him to win from the start. So Chris
he was my pick as well. I thought Peter Boll would be a big threat, and then we'll end up being Luke Boyd's the top Aussie. But that Jamaican boy had a long stride too. Yeah, talking about long striders. Yeah. So, tell me, Christopher, are you more of a long strider, or do you have a fairly average, typical stride for someone of your height, or are you more of a short stride, quick cadence kind of a runner? Tell me, how are you running lately with the newfound speed?
Well, I kind of I try to feel and look comfortable. So I just try to stay relaxed, relax my hands, relax my shoulders, and my stride. Like I think I average about 1.8, 1.9, or 1.7, 1.8 meters. With my stride length on a good...
Over what distance?
Any distance.
So that's your average, like, have you worked it out with your Strava?
My watch.
Your watch?
He knows everything.
So that's including recovery runs?
Oh.
No. He has quite a long... He does have a bit of a stride, but he does have turnover, Sean. That's what we're trying to work on, is his turnover. And
you want good turnover.
Yeah, you mentioned strides. We do a lot of strides at the beginning and at the end of sessions.
Yeah, they're very important. They really help, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. They help not only with the finishing kick. People always think, I need that finishing kick if I'm going to be a weapon in a race. But they just help with your overall speed, your raw speed. And the better raw speed you have, the quicker you can go overall. It just opens up the possibilities for how quick you can run even up to the marathon. So keep working on the strides. That's good. Wow, so 1.8 metre stride length. I know I did a 14k run yesterday, and my watch told me, it didn't tell me my average stride length. Actually, it probably did, but I don't look that deeply into it. But one thing I did look at, which popped up at me, it said you've taken 13,200 steps and I'd only gone 14,000 metres, meaning my stride length for that run, where I felt like I was moving, would only be just over 1 metre. And you know how long my legs are, Robin.
Oh.
I've got a bit of work to do to get back to the Christopher stride length, I think. Anyway, how tall are you now, Christopher?
5'10".
5'10".
If you ask my friends 5'9", but I'd say more 5'10".
You might end up another Rhodesia. Gee whiz. That's good. So, Christopher, what are your running goals for the rest of 2026 and beyond?
Well, I have about five to six major goals which I want to achieve. So, starting down at the shortest distance, so 800 meters, I want to go sub 2, maybe sub 158. 15, sub 4 this summer.
Yep.
3K, sub 8:45. 5K, I actually have there's a, you know, the TCS Sydney Marathon.
Yeah.
There's an elite 5K prior to it, and I've just been accepted into the elite field. So I'm aiming for sub 15 in that 5K. I mean, that'd be my ultimate goal, but like 15:10 I'd still be very happy with.
Yeah, give it a big crack. Yeah.
But then probably my most major goal would be this upcoming Ballarat nationals for cross country.
Yeah.
I mean, top 5 I'm properly aiming for, and that's what like my major goal is for this season for cross country.
Good on you. Yeah, and once you're in that top 5 or 6 in a race, anything can happen, really.
Yeah. I mean, I back my kick any day of the week. So
wow.
if I get myself in that position, I'll make it a pure guts race, and I'll be the only one that can win it.
Awesome. Yeah.
He's got a photo of Steve Prefontaine saying that on his wall, Sean. That's where he's getting that from.
There you go. Yeah, why not? Take it from Pre. Yeah, what a legend. You could be the new Pre. Or maybe Pre might be looking up at you and thinking, gee, I wish I could be, I'd like to be the new Christopher Whiteley. But there you go. So that's good. You've got a lovely long straight there in Ballarat to implement a good finishing kick.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
300-400
from what I
metres.
remember, it's like a slow, steady incline into the finish.
Yeah.
About
yeah.
a K&a-half
Very
hours.
gradual, maybe 1% gradient. Yep, and long straight. No windy bits going through chicanes or anything like that. Ultimately, what do you think? I know you're only young. You're only very young, but have you thought about ultimately what your best event would be and where you'd like to go with that event? Or events?
5K track, probably. I mean, that's
Yep.
going to be my main event. Maybe 15, around that range. So 15 to 5K is probably
That's
where
good.
I want to aim to.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a special diet at all, Christopher?
Well, if ice cream and chocolate counts, I mean, that's kind of my diet right now.
Yeah, you're on a par with me there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You're a good man. You're a good man. You'll go far. And now, are you doing any cross training at all?
Yes, I mean, I do a bit of bike every week. I mean, that's really it. Just bike.
Out on the road or indoors, or how do you do it?
We have a bike downstairs in the gym, so I just go on that for a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Once a week.
Get the ticket working a little bit more there. Work on the leg strength. Yep, that's good.
Yep.
Is there one race in the world that you have dreamt about doing and you'd love to do one day?
Well, I think everyone my age dreams about the Olympics. I mean, that's like the ultimate goal which everyone wants to get to. So yeah, getting to the Olympics representing Australia.
How old will you be in 2032?
22, perfect age.
22, there you go.
Maybe
you might
a
be
bit-
too young for the marathon, but I was actually there at the marathon course where they will be running the 2032 Olympics today, this morning, because the Sunshine Coast Marathon was on, and they ran the marathon. Brett Robinson won as a training hit out before the Sydney Marathon, 2:15 odd, and he did very well. He looked quite composed, and that will be the marathon course. So they might make the odd little adjustment or two, but apparently they want to get that right. So they've got plenty of time between now and then to work that one out. And obviously, I hardly ever pick up a newspaper these days, but I had a long morning this morning because I had to drop off a marathoner at about 4:45, and I was there till about nearly midday with all the different events on. And at one point, I'd had enough, and I sat down in the cafe, and there was a newspaper on the table. And it was all about the 2032 Olympics, and they had pictures of the stadium and the different buildings they'll be building for swimming, athletics and all that kind of thing. I'll tell you what, they're going to put a lot of money into it. It will be beautiful, no doubt, by the time it's all there and ready for the athletes. So as a young Aussie athlete, why not? Dream big.
Exactly. Aim for
Looking
the
at the
stars.
Commonwealth Games over the last week, a lot of the track and field athletes are only young. Cam Myers, Claudia Hollingsworth, and there's others as well going very well in track and field. And they're not that old. Luke Boys isn't that old, 21 or 22. You look at them, they're really shining, aren't they?
I saw a great image from Barry Carey on Facebook today, Sean, of one of your Jindabyne camps with Ollie Hoare there at one of your camps running alongside Harry Summers.
Yeah.
Very poignant to see that picture of your group down there. I don't know how long ago that would have been. I presume that'd be a good 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 or 11 years probably. We did a lot of Jindabyne camps, but if you're talking about those names at Jindabyne, probably be 11 years ago. Yeah. Well, I did just today in the Commonwealth Games. I had helped Claudia at Mentone Grammar.
Oh.
She competed today. I coached Seth for 3.5 years with Melbourne Pack, and then I coached Ollie back in the Sweat Sydney days. So just 3 of them were competing today, and they all did well in their own way. I think Seth might have he struggled a little bit there. I haven't talked to him since the race, but I think Claudia should be very proud of the way she went, and Ollie. I know Ollie was very happy with the way he ran too, because he's been a little bit out of form and he looked like he came home like a rocket. So hopefully he'll have a good remainder of the year and keep coming home like a rocket and get more good results. So very happy with those guys. It's nice to look back. Now, Christopher, what do you enjoy most about your distance running?
I just enjoy the fact that I can go out there and run with others and everyone, we all go through the same thing. We all fight our own demons. But at the end of the day, we all finish the race. It does we're all distance runners. Everyone has to do the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it brings us together. At all schools, there was a team of us, the CIS team, and it feels like a team.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Look. You know what I like to see, and it's an image we see time and time again, not only in distance running but in sport. Good sportsmanship, and I saw it today at the end of only obviously on TV, watching the end of the 800 metres, where Luke Boys had obviously run one of the races of his life, if not the best race of his life. He got the silver. He was over the moon. Peyton Craig finished near the back of the field. Was never really in the mix. He was for a while, but then he faded when it came down to the crunch. But Peyton went up to Luke and put his arm around him and gave him a big grin because he was so happy for his mate to have won a medal. And that's the kind of scene I love to see. Even when somebody doesn't go well and they know it, you can still be very joyful for your friends and and they might even be your friends, but you in a way, when you toe the line with other people in a tough sport, you're all friends one way or the other. You're doing the same thing, aren't you? So like you mentioned, big respect for everybody out there, because you're all doing the same thing in the end. And some people happen to be quicker than others on the day, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful sport there. Now, who's your current favourite runner in the world, Christopher?
Well, I think it's Josh Kerr. He said what he gave. He's been telling for months that he was going to get the world record, and there was haters, there was believers, but at the end of the day, he got it, and that's respect. I have respect for him. He did what he said he was going to do.
He sure did. And I think most people really loved that when he pulled that one off. Somehow, it might have been a miracle, but somehow I woke up. I didn't put my alarm on for it because it was at a crazy time. I don't know if you put an alarm on for it. 1 o'clock in the morning or something. That's not my time I typically hang out at. But I woke up 3 minutes before the race because I checked my phone. It's like, I know the race is on at whatever it was, 37. Might have been 12:37 or 1:37 a.m. Jumped out of bed. Was lucky enough to watch it live. I don't normally get that excited. I used to get excited watching people I coached, and I get excited watching Tilly, my daughter, but don't usually get that excited. But I was pumping the air, and so I think that, he's very special. There's no doubt about that. And he really deserved that Commonwealth gold too. Who's your favourite current Aussie athlete at the moment?
Cam Myers.
Yeah. I don't think many people would disagree with you on that one. He's certainly doing incredible things. There's no doubt about that.
Second in the market, that was very good.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the best upcoming athletes, and I look forward to see what he's going to do in his career.
Big time. Now, you mentioned engineering as something you'd like studying and like to pursue. So Is that your main interest outside of running, or do you have other interests on top of engineering?
Yeah, I mean, I want to do mechanical and aeronautical engineering, but like
Yeah.
that's my job. But other stuff I do outside of running is like building trails in the back of my house. Like I'm making a running trail down the back of my land right now, and then across the street, me and my mates, we built a bike course, and it's just
Okay.
fun.
Oh, very good. So are you using machines?
No, just shovel, some clippers, and spades.
Good on you. Oh, wow. No chainsaws even.
Nah,
Wow.
just
You're not going to give him a chainsaw, Sean. I
No.
won't give him a pencil.
Fair enough. Well, no, but again, coming from the father, but also the coach, it's good strength work. Great
Yeah,
conditioning.
no,
You know,
completely.
to get the old way, the old style way.
Yeah.
Well, we watched Little House on the Prairie on Netflix recently. Thought, oh yeah, I thought it might actually be the original Michael Landon
Oh,
in
yes, I remember.
1974, but it was like a new one. But you know, they certainly back in the old days, they reckon people were way fitter. They were slimmer, they were stronger. You know, they were more cut, all that kind of thing, simply because they used their bodies more. So no chainsaws for you, Christopher. You keep up
Well-
the good work.
to be fair, I did steal the pickaxe from my dad, and we used that a couple of times.
No, fair enough. Yeah, well, you can't use your elbow or your your fingernails for everything, can you?
Although I didn't use it, my friends did, because I didn't want to risk my back. I was just like, do this, do that. I was the one directing it all.
There you go. Now, I'm going to finish the interview with a few quick-fire questions there, Christopher. You need to choose an option out of the two presented in each question. Are you ready for me to fire away?
Yep.
Okay, first of all, what's the best bird, a kookaburra or a magpie?
Kookaburra.
Nike or New Balance running shoes?
Nike.
Cam Myers or Sebastian Sarway?
Sebastian Sauer.
Dural or Ballarat?
Dural.
England or Australia?
England.
Meat pies or pizza?
Pizza.
Fishing or surfing?
Surfing.
Cycling or skateboarding?
Cycling.
Board shorts or jeans?
Jeans.
Working or sleeping?
Working.
Chocolate or vegetables?
Chocolate.
You mentioned that before. National cross country or Zatopek?
National cross.
Long runs or track work?
Long runs.
Chin ups or push ups?
Chin ups.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Thank you very much. You've been a very good sport today, Christopher, as have you, Robin. It's been really nice to chat to both of you. The flying Whiteleys there. Now, we can see that Christopher is a young runner who has improved drastically during 2026. It has not happened overnight, as he has been training for several years. After several years of solid results and great progression, he's now knocking on the door of being a top performer nationally. We wish him the very best of luck for a bright running future. So, thanks for watching and listening, folks. Don't forget, keep your toes behind the line at the start and always run really hard all the way through the finishing line. And what you do in between is up to you. Thank you for coming on, lads. Thank you and goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.